I'm S from High Frequency Digital, and this is my new dark mode undated digital planner. And right now I'm just going to show you a quick peek inside of my planner, and it's going to flip through all of the pages inside so you can get a quick overview of what contents are in the planner. And once I am done with the flip book, then I'll show you how you can get into more details on the individual pages, and there are little tips and tricks, and there are some hyperlinks that you might not know exist, because I tried to, for the most part, make a planner that didn't have a bunch of buttons, just for a cleaner look. So there are certain areas that you can tap on that have hyperlinks that you might not be aware of. So as I walk you through the planner, I will go over all of the hyperlinks within the planner, and I will show you ways that you can more efficiently plan your days and weeks, and how to use certain some of the pages, like you'll see on the bookshelf there. There's a little trick to getting your titles in where they are vertical or slanted. So they're just little tips and tricks here and there. If you are familiar with digital planning, then you can feel free to skip the tips and tricks if you like. But if you stay tuned, there are probably some things in there that you might not know about, or maybe you hadn't tried before. So whether you're using my planner or another planner, some of the tricks that I will show you, they are relevant for any planner that you might use. Okay, so now we are going to go into our weekly review page. Okay, so in our weekly review, we just have pretty much a recap of the week. So here you have your habits, and you pretty much are just going to say what your habits were and whether you met your goal or not. It's a yes or no, a Y, an N, or check. You have your weekly goals. You check whether or not you hit those. You have your proper hydration. So this is a summary of what you're doing every day. So if you met your hydration goal for Monday, then you just check yes, or you can put an X or color it, whatever you want to do. There are a few writing prompts here, and then this is a descriptive mood tracker. So I do have a mood tracker that is an annual mood tracker, and that one you just color code. But for this one, it's just, you just write a brief description, you know, how you felt for the day. So I am now going to go back to our home page, and I am going to look at our daily pages. So I am now on our daily divider page, and I have the option for 3 different layouts here, plus a bonus increment schedule that's measured in 15-minute increments. So I am first going to go to the hourly schedule. So this is more of a traditional daily page where it has the hours there for you from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can write your daily gratitude or quote up here. You have your top 3. You have your reward when you're done, which is great for helping you stay on task, and knowing that you get a little reward when you're done is really helpful. I have ADHD, so it's really helpful for me if I'm like, okay, if I do these, then I can get a reward. that's great. So we also have this section here where it says if I have the time or drive for. We get into these lists, these endless checklists where you have like maybe 10 or more things to do for the day. So for me, that becomes overwhelming. So I like to have it where I have my top 3, and then I have 5 more here that I can do or not do, just depending on what my energy level is like. But I've taken the pressure off of myself, like I have to get these things done, by just saying if I have the time or drive for. How will I practice self-care today? So that's a very important section too, because we want to make sure that while we're planning our day and trying to be as efficient and productive as possible, that we are taking care of ourselves as well. And if we have family, we are taking care of ourselves first so that we can be better to serve our family and friends and those around us who need support. So we also have your call, email, and text area here. Here's a little remember to, and there is a hydrate section where you just color in the glasses. So there's a little tip that I have, a little trick that I use to fill those in. So I'll show you that in the tips and tricks. And then we have your evening reflection. So now I am going to go back to the divider page, and I'm just gonna show you the other pages. So this is our, this has a blank time schedule. So it's the same as the other page that I showed you, but it doesn't have any time here. So you can feel free to put whatever times you want in there. You can do time blocking, however you like. And then this is our open schedule. So it's just like the other two, except that this whole area is open. So I like to use this sometime to plan my schedule using visual cues. So I might put stickers in here and then just put a time on there. Like I might use a bike sticker and then say what time I want to bike or what my goal is for the bike, how many miles or minutes that I want to ride for. And then you can go back to our daily divider page. And lastly, we have our 15-minute increment schedule. So this one is good for someone who maybe has clients and have appointments that need to be scheduled at various times throughout the day, or you might use it as a project planner. And I also have a Pomodoro project planner that I will show you as well. So I'm just going to go back to the daily page, and I want to look at one of these schedules again, because I want to show you. I want to draw your attention to this area down here. So we've already learned that this is the back button, and then this is the home button. So also attached to these are the organization page and calendar page. So the reasoning behind this is that a lot of times when I am making a list and planning out what I have to do for the day, I have a lot of thoughts that come into my mind, and I'm like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I have a mental checklist that is always going in my head. And some things I can put in the remember to section, but some things are not appropriate to go there. It might be something that I need to do in 2 weeks from now. And so I don't want to put it here where I'm going to forget about it. I want to put it somewhere where I will remember to put it in my planner at an appropriate time, but I also can get it off of my brain. So I am just going to jump to the organization section from here. So the pages that I would use in the organization section would be like, I would either go to my brain dump and I can write, text, put stickers in for whatever I may be thinking about or feeling, whatever's on my brain at that time. I have my notes page, and then I have a blank notes page, as well as a checklist, and then a 2-column checklist. So now I am going to go back into our daily schedule, and there is also a calendar here. So if you want to take a look at your calendar, it will send you back to your monthly divider page. So if you want to look at your month and see what's going on to plan your day, or you want to go to your month and then you want to jump to your week and then go back to your day, you are free to do that. Now, the reason that I did not link my monthly page to my monthly or weekly page to my daily page is because I like to use all 3 of these. It just depends on the day. No 2 days are the same usually for me. It just depends on how I feel, how creative I'm feeling, how structured I want my day to be, how carefree I want my day to be. So depending on my mood, I will use one of usually the 3 of these, and sometimes I'll use a 15 increment planner. That helps a lot of times when I have tasks that I want to get done in short bursts of time, and it's usually tasks that I kind of want to shy away from. It's things that I don't want to do, so I can put them on here, and I can make I can do it in increments of 15 minutes. So that's why I did not link the daily pages. So you have the option to use whichever layout you like there. You're not restricted to one particular page. But even though the pages are not linked to your monthly and your weekly directly from those pages, you can link to the monthly using this tab here, and then you can link from the monthly to the weekly if you want, and you can always go home and just choose whatever you want from the menu here as well. So I'm going to next jump into the I'll go to the finances section, and again, this is the page that does not link from the home page, this by design, but all of these subcategories do. So I'm going to go back to finances, and then we have our revenue tracker, savings jar. So I wanted to show you what the savings tracker could look like. This is, there's a quick way that you can do this by using your highlighter tool. So I'm going to just clear the page. Okay, I'm going to clear my page, and then I'm going to go into my highlighter tool, and I'm just going to draw just a little straight line and snap it into shape. Now my straight line is more than likely not going to be straight, but it's as straight as I can get it. So I am going to now go in with my eraser tool, and I'm going to erase here. Now you can clean up all around the sides, and you could stop here if this is where you are on your savings goal. But what I could also suggest is that you can go in and you can just continue to enlarge this until you get it to be the size of the full tracker. So let's see here. Okay, I can make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to turn it just a bit. So I would say for me about right there is good. And I'm just going to go in with my eraser tool, and I'm going to erase. Okay, so this is what your savings tracker can look like once it's filled in. And once you have it filled in, all you have to do is select it, and you want to add an element, and you can add it. I've created a folder where I put mine, but you can add an element and save it in there. So you can come back to that anytime that you want to, anytime you have a new goal, and you can change the color however you like. I don't know why I keep tapping that. You can change the color however you like, and then you can also, if you're starting at 100, you can just erase down to where you need to be. So if I was at 40%, I would go here. And of course I would take my time to make sure that it was nice and neat. But as you erase down to whatever level you're going to, once you've refined it, you can just select it, and then you can just add an element. You can add an element at every level, at every increment if you want. So each time you get to a new goal, you can just drop that in. Next, I am going to go home, and we are going to take a look at our goals page. Okay, so this is pretty self-explanatory here. Over here, this is where I would put my big steps for my goal, and I would put my baby steps here for my goal. And then on here, I do my goal tracker. So whatever the goal is, I'm gonna put that in goal set, and I'm going to put goal get for, I'll put the date that I am targeting to finish my goal. And you can color in each section here. There are a couple of ways that you can do that. So I will show you really quickly. You can use your pen tool or your shapes tool, and you want to make sure if you're using your pen tool that you have it, you go to draw and hold, and you want to have snap to other shapes and fill colors. So I'm going to just outline this here, and it'll snap into shape. I'm going to move it maybe a little small. I'm okay with that. That looks good. So you can either leave it like that, or you can press your back button and it will take the outline off. Now I'll have to move this back to where it goes because I initially moved it to get it into place. But you'll notice that you can't really see the color much there. So you want to make sure that you use a color that will be dark enough to see. So I'm going to try a darker color. And you see it's still pretty pastel. So another method that you can do is you can use your highlighter tool, and you want to select the largest dot, make sure that your thickness is all the way up, and I am going to tap in the center there. I'm going to lasso around that. I want to make sure that I have my handwriting toggled on. I am going to lasso around that, and I am going to resize. So that looks like it might be good. Close enough. So next you have your vision board where you can put your pictures, your text. You can have things linked to a video. You can do whatever you like to do to decorate your vision board. Okay, and now I'm going back to our navigation page. And so I'm just going to flip through these pages in our wellness section. So we have our wellness tracker, and we have our habit tracker. Now this is our weekly habit tracker. We also have a monthly habit tracker. We have this annual mood planner that I was telling you about earlier on in the video. So each letter up here just correlates with the month: January, February, March, and these are all the days in the month. So for January, you would fill in the colors here, and you have a little key here where you can use your, you can color these in, and you can write a description or a word for whatever that mood is. And something that I like to do also, because how I start my day is not usually how I end my day. So I might do something where I just split the day in half. So however I'm feeling in the morning, I would color in this color for whatever mood that is, and then maybe I'm feeling differently in the evening, so I would color it in this color. Now, of course, if I was really coloring this in, I would do a much neater job, but you get the picture. So let's see, we have our fitness tracker, and that is all for that section. I'm going back home. So we looked at some of the organization section where we looked at the brain dump, the notes, and the list. So now I'm going to show you the bookshelf. So if we go into our bookshelf, this is our reading list. So this can be a combination of, you know, books or audiobooks, and they can be books that you've read, books that you want to read, books that you are currently reading. And so the easiest way that I found to label these books, if you don't want to use handwriting, is you can just type in the title of your book, and then I am going to lasso around it, tap it. Now you see it says take screenshot. That would be because my text boxes are not selected. So you want to make sure that your text boxes is toggled on. So now I am going to lasso around it again, tap, and I'm going to resize. So when I resize it, I can change the orientation of the book. You can just change the orientation, or you can also resize it if you like. And then I might want to change the color. So I will just lasso around it again, and I'll tap color, and I will change my book title green. Now, the easiest way to label the rest of your books would be to simply lasso around it, tap it, tap it, come on, copy, and paste. Now, if you were to use the text tool for this, then it is going to put your text back horizontal, and you're going to have to do the whole thing where you have to flip it again. So I would suggest just copying and pasting, and then you still have the option to change the color from here. So I'm going to make this color, we'll go with this color here, and I also want to change the text. So now if I want to change the text, I'm going to go back to the text box. I'm going to tap there, and I am going to tap on my fonts, and I will change my font like that. And then I will just move this here, and it is as simple as that. So again, I would say to just, once you get your book title vertical, you want to copy, and then you want to lasso around it, and then you copy it and paste it. And you can also change the direction of it if you are in resize. So you can make the title slant here. You would just go into resize, and then you would just, let's see, I need to grab just this book title, not the other one. So I'm going to resize, and it's a little testy sometimes. I'm going to make it smaller also. Let's move it right here, and then you just change it for the angle that you need, but you get the point. So now I am going to go back to the organization page, and then so to the divider page, we have our media tracker, and in here you can put you can drop in a photo of your TV, movies that you're watching, or podcasts that you're listening to, and you just color in your stars, and you can just give a brief description or caption here. So I'm going to go back to my home page, and I am going to next go to Oh, I am going to go back to organization. I'm going to go to the password keeper. So on the password keeper, you have your account, password, and notes. Now, I intentionally designed this where it does not ask you for your login name. Because I want to just protect privacy in case this gets into the hands of someone that it was not planned for. And just a rule of thumb for me, I don't actually put my passwords in. I just put a password hint. So you can put your account here. You can either put your password or your password hint, and then you have notes here. Okay. So I'm going back to the home screen, and I am going to jump back over to the by design. I want to show you the memories page. So if you are on the divider page for the memories, you have 3 different options here. So I selected the first one. You can put a picture here. You can, write a little paragraph or a couple of lines description for your picture, or you have this second option where you can put your pictures in and just write a little caption underneath. And lastly, you can put one picture, multiple pictures, whatever you want. You can write a whole story. You can do it however feels right for you, but you have 3 different options there. And we are now going to go over to 30 Days of Change. So in 30 Days of Change, I have an about self-care where I wrote a little blurb here, and then we have this awesome self-care menu here to give you ideas for what you can do for your 30 days of self-care. So on the 30 days of self-care, you might just write whatever your whatever the maybe goal or theme is for the month. You can write it in here. I'm not sure, because this is a dark planner and because of the way that the light hits the screen, I'm not sure if you can see these bars here, but or this bar here. There's a bar here where you can write your title in, and it's a little transparent bar. So it is there. You may not be able to see it on screen, but it is there. And so you just write in whatever your goal is for the day of self-care. I'm gonna say just write bath. Okay, once it's done, just check it off. Okay, so after that, you have your 30-day challenge, which is pretty much the same as your 30 days of self-care, except that it is a 30-day challenge. So that one can be for whatever you want it to. It's non-specific. So I'm going to go back home, and I am lastly going to jump to our extras section. So here we have this awesome Pomodoro planner, and if you are familiar with Pomodoro planners, then you probably already know how to use this. And if you are new to Pomodoro planners, this is how you use it. So we have a projects list here where we have our top 3 projects for the day. So let's say that you had project 1, you had 4 tasks for. So you would list those 4 tasks here. Each of the 4 tasks gets a POM. So your target number would be 4 because you have 4 project tasks that you're aiming for. Now, if you only complete 3 of those tasks, then you would put a 3 here. And for each task, you're going to have a start time and an end time, and then you take a break. So once you tally up all of your start and end time for those first 3 tasks, that's what will give you your total for your focus time. And so the idea is that you are doing these tasks, but you're doing them in small bursts of time, and then you are taking a break. So a traditional Pomodoro planner would be for 25-minute increments, and then you take breaks. But as I've said, I have ADHD and my brain doesn't quite work like that. So if I'm focused on a project that I'm really into, I will hyper focus. So it's hard to get me to stop. So I will put a start time and maybe an end time, and then I will have my break already entered here, whatever it is that I plan to do for break. So that way I can force myself to take a break. But I wanted to leave this planner open so that you are not under any time constraints. So if you want to work for 10 minutes and take a break, 25 minutes, take a break, whatever that time is, you are welcome to do that. You have the freedom and flexibility with this Pomodoro planner to do that. And on top of putting your date here, next to the date, you would put your number of Pomodoros. So that's just however many project tasks you have for the total 3 projects. Let's say you have 15 tasks in total, then you would write 15 over here. So next we will go back to the extras slide page, and I am going to click on my timeline. And so this is just a timeline of, I don't know, whether it's your life or project, whatever it is, you can fill this in however you want. And then also we have our custom page. So on your custom divider page, you have these 4 buttons here that will take you to a custom page. So the first one will take you to C1 or custom 1. The second will be C2 or custom 2. Third one takes you to the 3rd page. And lastly, this will take you to your 4th custom page. Okay, next I'm going to show you how I sort of make a template for myself. So I like to keep the same fonts and colors and do those for a while until I get bored with them, but I might do this for several weeks. So instead of duplicating my page and deleting everything out every day, what I like to do instead is I like to make a template. So how I do that is by first I'm going to duplicate this page again. So now I'm going to go into the new page here. And now what I would do is, if I wanted to just keep all of my formatting the same, I don't necessarily want to have the stickers. I'm going to take the stickers out. So I'm going to go into the photo icon. You can get there from tapping on your elements icon, and I'm going to delete all of those out. Okay, so this is, if you remember, this is what our page looked like before, and now I have deleted all of my stickers out, and I just have little dots as placeholders. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I am going to paste it on another day. But before I do that, I am going to make sure that I duplicate this page. So I'm going to go I'm going to go here, and this is the page that I have selected. I am going to duplicate it from my thumbnails, and now I'm going to close it. So I have 2 copies of that now. So I'm going to say maybe this is the one that I'm going to keep. So just for right now, I'm just going to write keep. So I will make sure that I have a copy and I don't move it or delete it. Okay, so what I've done here is I've deleted out all of the text that was on the previous page, and I just put a period as a space holder. And I have all of my dots in, except I only did the first 4 here. I can easily just copy and paste those if I wanted to, but for right now I'm just going to leave it as is. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I want to use a different daily page style. So I'm going to use the one that has the numbers here. So I'm going to copy all of this by lassoing around it, and I'm only going to lasso this far because I don't want those over there. So I'm just going to lasso this page and copy it. I actually don't need that highlighter there. I forgot to delete that. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go over to, this is my old planner another older version of it. I'm going to go into my daily page that has the time already input. So now I'm going to select paste, and I am going to move my template into position by lining up my water. That is how you make a template and how you duplicate a page. And now I would say if you wanted to move your pages, you want to make sure that you are moving a page that is not your anchor page. So you just want to be really careful about that, because if you move your anchor page, when you hyperlink to it, it's not going to be where it's supposed to be in the planner. Okay, now I am going to show you how to date your quarterly planner. This is just one method. This is a quick method that I like to use. Well, somewhat quick, that's relative, but it's definitely uniform. So I actually shot this portion of the video yesterday, and then I woke up and my elements were all wonky. So if you are using the elements and you are using the elements for text, it's very specific how you create the elements and how you use. I'm going to select the black quarterly numbers. So there are black numbers here, but you're not able to see them because the square that they are on in the elements, on this elements file, is black. So that's why I have put the title here so that it's easy to see. So I'm going to tap on that. I'm going to move these into place. And that looks good enough for me, I guess, about right there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, tap on my text box and delete that. So now let's say you want to date, let's say we want to date June. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this also, but if I want to place if I've already completed these two up here, so I don't have an empty calendar where I could just lay my numbers out as a placeholder and then move them from there, what I would do, since I'm at the bottom of my screen, and if I place my numbers over to this side, you're not going to see them because it's black. So what I'm going to do is to go back into my elements, and I am going to choose, I have a white square, which is here. So I'm going to place my white box next to that. I also am going to just draw a straight line and snap it into place. Okay, now that line I will use to align the numbers when I move them. Okay, so now I'm ready to drop in my dates from my elements. So I'm going to go into my elements file that came with this planner, and I am going to choose the element that says black quarterly numbers. As you notice, you can't see anything here really except black quarterly numbers. There are black numbers there, but they are very hard to see. So if I had not titled this, you might not know what it was. You might just think it's just a black empty square. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to move it over to here. Then I am going to, I'll just use the text. I'm going to delete this, and now I am going to drop my numbers in. So I'm going to say that June starts on a Thursday. So I am going to grab my first four numbers, and I want to make sure that my images and my handwriting are toggled off. I am just using the text boxes. So I'm going to grab the 4 here, and I am going to move them here. So let's try that again because it picked up the 10. I want to leave the 10 where it is. So I'm going to grab just the first 4 here, and that looks good to me. Okay, so then I will need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 through 11. You want to be careful when you're grabbing your text that you're not grabbing other numbers. So I'm going to move these over here, and then I will just grab the 5, 6, 7. I will move them about right here. I think that looks good. And then I am going to toggle on my handwriting. I'm going to take this here and just line it up like that. Now I will toggle off my handwriting and grab these numbers here. So that looks about right. Now I am going to grab 12 through, I think it's 18. I just added 7 to 11, so I hope that was correct. I know my math is correct, but I hope I did that correct. Okay, so now I'm going to just grab 12 through 13. Goes there. Then I am going to toggle on handwriting, toggle off text boxes. I'm going to move my alignment tool here. And then I want to toggle on my text boxes. That looks good. And as you can see, they are spaced enough for you to just drop them in, and they're fine. I mean, you can mess with them a little bit if you want to make them a little bit more uniform. This is good enough for me, but I spent a few hours this morning playing with the elements in GoodNotes, trying to figure out what the heck was going on, because I would create some elements and then they looked fine on the page. Like the numbers, for instance, they looked fine on the page, and then I put them on a file that I was going to use for GoodNotes, to attach a GoodNotes file in case you want to use a GoodNotes file instead of the elements. And when I put them on the GoodNotes file, the numbers just expanded exponentially. They weren't the same size of the numbers that I created. So what I found was that wherever I make the element, so if I'm making the numbers, I made these numbers, I sized them in on this page, then that's where I had to make the element. And hang on a second, let me just move this because I'm talking and trying to think about what I want to say. I had to size the numbers on here and then just make the element from this page. So if you try to use this element on a different page, it's not going to look the same. The numbers will, they'll expand. Toggle that off. I'm gonna move this down, about right there. Toggle on my text boxes. Move these here. Then I am going to delete my line. Let's turn on images too. Okay, so I'm going to delete my line and my box. Okay, so I hope that was pretty easy to understand. It's a little bit confusing, but I'll just give you an example of what I mean about the numbers. So I'm going to use that same elements file, and let's say I am going to go to let me go back to where I was. So if I go to quarterly plans, and I'm just going to add a piece of white paper in, okay? And then I am going to go to my elements. It's right here also, but I just want to show you from the elements file. So if I tap the black quarterly numbers, look how big they are. Now, if I go to the previous page, and again, I am going to just add in my white square so you can see the numbers when I drop them in. They're the exact same size as these. So just know that if you want to date your quarterly planner using the numbers that I've provided, you will just use the black quarterly numbers. And alternatively, you can choose, I have some numbers here as well. You can choose these numbers. Let's get the black ones, not those. You can choose these numbers, but you will have to expand them to the size that you want, and then you will have to move them from there. So I should have put a piece of, should have put the white blocks so you could see those, but I know they're there. So I'm just gonna move these here. And then you would have to move all of them around and space them and whatnot. So I figured since I already created the numbers to fit onto this, that I should include it and then just give you instructions on how to use it. So hopefully you understand that. If you have questions, just convo me through Etsy. Or you can just, if you want, you can literally just date your planner by just numbering by hand. It's all up to you and what you want to do. This, of course, is much faster, but I like mine to look uniform, so that's what I use as the text. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to date your monthly overview calendar. So there are 3 different ways that you can do it that I know of. 2 of the methods are similar. It's just going to depend on where you get the numbers from. So with your planner, I've included a GoodNotes file, and I've also included an elements file. So this particular layout right here can be found in your elements file. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to go into my elements, and these are the elements that come with the planner. And I'm going to choose, let's say I'm going to choose one that has 31 days. So I'm going to do the Sunday 31 start calendar. Right here in pink is where it tells you what's on the what will be on the page, what the contents are, because otherwise it's just little tiny white numbers and you can't really tell what's what. So I've labeled it for you. So since this is a Sunday start, I'm going to align my number 1 in the corner for Sunday. Now you want to make sure before you move, you want to make sure that you have this blue box around your entire elements that you've dropped onto the page. So that's going to be all of your numbers here. So once you have everything selected, you're going to drop this in. I'm going to align right here with Sunday. Check it out down here. These lines here look good, so I am going to go with that. Now, what I'm checking for with when there are 30 and 31 days is to make sure that this line that I've drawn in right here is in alignment with the vertical line. So let me show you. If I move it here, like let's say I just dropped it, I just said, okay, I'm going to put it right here. Then you'll notice that the line here will be off. So that line is actually just handwriting that I drew a line and snapped it into place. So I'm looking, I am looking, when I'm dropping my numbers in, I'm looking for alignment up here. But if I also have 30 or 31 days, then I'm going to use this line right here as my guide. I want to make sure that they're lined up right here and here. So I'm going to drop that. I'm going to tap out so that it's in place. And then what I like to do is just go to my text tool. I tap on the Sunday start and I delete it. You can also use your lasso tool if you prefer. Just make sure if you're using your lasso tool, when you lasso, that you are only lassoing the words that you want to take out. And you can actually just lasso in the center of it. Let's see, let's go back. So you can just lasso in the center just to be sure that you don't pick up any of the numbers around. So I'm going to now tap and delete. But if I were to lasso like this and delete, you see I lost that 5. So you just want to be careful. So that is one method for dating your calendar. And I want to note that if you are using this element function, that it is designed only for the monthly overview pages. If you drop this in on another page or another document, it's going to resize. So let me show you what I mean. So I've been playing around with the numbers a bit because I was trying to figure out what was going on, because I would put something in elements and I thought it was okay, and then I try to drop it into my calendar and it was completely resized, or I was no longer able to see the thumbnail in the elements because the letters were white and the background was white. But when I first put them in, I was able to see it, and then the next day it was like as if they had disappeared because the letters were white and then the background was white. But when I initially put them in, it was black. So it kept changing. I think I figured out what the issue was with that, and I won't get into all of those details. It's I'll just say that the elements feature on GoodNotes is a little bit buggy. It's not consistent, but there is a workaround. So now I am going to drop in one of the the calendar numbers. So you can just drop in whichever one that was for the monthly calendar. So I've chosen the Tuesday one. So as you see, it's stretched out completely. So if you wanted to use these numbers on another planner and just kind of resize it like that, you can, and then just move the numbers where you need to go, you can. But I just wanted you to be aware that if you don't use it on the page that it was designed for, it's probably not going to behave the way it was designed, which was for these numbers to be in place exactly in the frames that are on that calendar. So now I am going to delete this page, and I'm going to back up here. So this is another way that you can date your calendar if you are using the GoodNotes file. So I am going to select these, going to copy them, and I'm going back into my calendar. I'm going to clear this page, and I'm going to paste those numbers onto here. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to stretch the numbers to a size that I like. I'm just looking at one number, pretty much. I'm just looking at the 1, and I'm just aligning the 1 where I want it to go. And okay, that size looks good. Maybe just a little bit smaller. Okay, so now I'm going to align it again. I'm going to tap out of it. Now I am going to select my numbers, and this is if you're doing a Monday start. So if I were doing a Monday start, I need the first 7 numbers. So I'm going to grab these. Of course, if you were doing a different start date, you would grab different, you would grab the numbers that you need. So now that I have done that, I'm going to go in, I'm going to use my pen tool, I'm going to draw a line, making sure that I stay within my frame, because if my line ends outside of my screen, it more than likely is not going to snap into place. So I'm going to move, make sure I have my handwriting is toggled on. So I'm going to move this line where it is directly up under this 1. I now am going to toggle off my handwriting. I'm going to grab my numbers and I'm going to move them over. Okay, then I'm going to toggle, I'm going to make sure my text boxes, okay. Then I'm going to grab the other numbers that I need for the next week. And I'm going to, I'm going to grab the numbers that I don't need and move those out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to grab these numbers here. I'm going to align my 8 in the corner right there. Then I am going to toggle on my handwriting. I'm going to be careful to grab my line where there is no text box. And if you want to be careful, you could just toggle off your text box if you think you might make a mistake and grab your text. So now I am going to toggle off my handwriting and I'm going to move these where they need to go. I'll just do these last ones here. And then you just continue on moving your, you want to move your numbers first. Move your numbers first, then grab your line there. Okay, so that's the second method. Okay, so there is one more little trick that I have that I forgot about that I want to share with you. So I am going to go back to my daily page. Let's see, we'll choose this one this time. And I want to color in my glasses. So what I'm going to do is use my pen tool. I'm going to enlarge this as much as I can, and I will just want it on the smallest line to start. I'm going to just line inside of the glass here. And then I am going to make just a little wavy thing here, and I'm going to color it in inside. you see, it's so small. So if it's not perfect, that's fine. And so then what I'm going to do is just turn on my lasso tool, and I want to make sure that I have handwriting toggled on. Okay, so then I am going to select it, and I'm going to add an element. You'll see I've done this several times. So I'm going to add it in here. I already have one here from doing practice runs. But so now that's in there. And so I can either, from right here, I can either copy and paste it, or I can take it from out of my elements. I'm going to tap here so I can see which one it is that I just did. It was this one here, so I'm going to just add that in. I am going to use the select tool to move this, and the reason that I use the select tool whenever I want to move something is because if I just move it like this, and if I accidentally grab it like here, it's going to reshape it. So the same thing with my text numbers and any shape or text or anything that I do, if I want to move it, I always try to use my lasso tool just so I can keep it consistent. So I'm going to copy that and paste it here. And you see these overlapped. So I'm going to have to be really careful to move these without duplicating them. So what I'm going to do next time, which I should have done this time, but I wasn't paying attention because I'm just blabbering on, but I want to copy it again, and I'm going to paste it over here so that I don't run the risk of the water overlapping with these, overlapping over these, so I can easily move them. So, and then I just drop them in. And of course, if you wanted to maybe save more than one glass at a time, like let's say you want to do 3, so we'll just lasso around these 3. I'm going to tap, I'm going to add an element, and I'm going to show you how to, instead of putting it there, we're just going to add make a new collection and just say 3 waters. You absolutely do not have to do this. You can put it with your stickers that you already use for this collection. I just wanted to show you how to create your own new collection in case you don't know how to do that. So I think that is going to be it for the dark mode planner. We've gone over what the contents are and how to use them and what the links are. So if you have any questions, just reach out to me through Etsy and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as possible. If you are unable to download your planner, please reach out to me before leaving a review. Or if you have a problem with it, or you see a typo or something isn't linking or something like that, please reach out to me before leaving a negative review, because I would love to help you. That is what I am here for. So thank you so much for watching and staying for this full tutorial on how to use my planner, and I'm wishing you the best and happy planning. Bye.